that's the same thing the sugars did to me, isn't it? Hello, yes. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. Today we're going to cover a topic that I didn't get to cover before because I was kind of just watching the space. It's about Seanlennon, the only son of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Seanlennon decided to do a review on Prince Harry's book, Spare, and a lot of backlash ensued. The outcome of it is that now he has received threats of the death kind from the sugars.
Sean Ono Lennon tweets, "I've had 3 to 4 death threats since making fun of Harry's book title, and then later saying it was justified because he's an idiot and that he and I both deserve to be mocked. Yay, internet." I do think it's quite endearing that Sean is so self-depreciating, but at the same time, I don't think he needed to be to talk badly about the Spare. But it's obvious that after the Meghan and Harry sugars came for Seanlennon's throat, he had to say something.
And we're going to still call them the sugars if you look back at my last video. But speaking of my last video, I actually mentioned in my last video that you can't say anything about these people. You can't say, I can't, at least me, I can't say anything about Meghan Markle because she's a woman of color. And in that same vein, Seanlennon is being criticized for saying anything about Prince Harry because both of them lost parents at a young age. So the logic is really not there for me, but never have I ever thought of being in the same space as Seanlennon until the sugars came along and said, you can't say anything and you can't say anything either. But anyway, let's just go through the tweets, and I have a lot of things to say about Seanlennon and what happened to him because I've been through it too. John Lennon's son, Sean, reviews Prince Harry's memoir. "My long-awaited review of Prince Harry's autobiography is 2 words, spare me." That's all he said, right? Well, all kind of sugars came out. Some person, bot, Judy Luna tweeted, "Sorry you feel that way. I thought it was a view into what happened to him. Remember Oprah? What happened to me?"
In our new book, renowned trauma and brain development expert Dr. Bruce Perry and I discuss why asking this fundamental question is so revolutionary to understanding why we do the things we do.
Same kind of thing. "I think it takes courage to put your story out there for others to see." Sean responds to her, "The Todger story certainly took some courage." And then another person tweeted to Sean Ono Lennon saying, "You are entitled to your opinion, but the fact is that he," meaning Harry, "has a bestseller of 2023 while you have not sold anything close to that." So then Seanlennon tweets back, "I mean, I don't care, but I did win an Oscar this year, so I think I'm doing okay."
Thank you. I just want to quickly say my mother turned 91 this February, and today is Mother's Day in the UK. So could everyone please say Happy Mother's Day, Yoko? Happy Mother's Day, Yoko!
Another person says the guy who based his whole life on his father's success, lol. And then Sean says, "Yes, but at least I don't have a shriveled old uterus and the personality of used toilet tissue." Girl, I mean, that got a lot of likes, I must say, compared to the others. You have to wonder, who is he really talking about? Please put down in the comments who you think he's talking about when he says, "But at least I don't have a shriveled old uterus and the personality of used toilet tissue." All opinions are welcome. So what's interesting about this exchange on Twitter is that
Meghan and Harry are so toxic that they have amassed this army.
they have these bots, they have these sugars that will come out and say the most ridiculous things for them. And I have covered that in my last video, which is why I find this very interesting that they can target anybody, even Seanlennon.
Now, one could argue that Sean, as a fellow Nepo baby himself, should not have put himself in the line of fire, no pun intended. But I think on the contrary, this is an even better reason for Sean to call out Harry, as in, it takes one to know one. Who better advise Harry than Sean? And frankly, Sean has at least one thing over Harry, and that's talent.
So even though Seanlennon says that he has met the Duke of Sussex before, Seanlennon says, "We met once. That was before I realized he was an idiot," he revealed. He says, "I do empathize with him generally, but the way he whines and wangs on about things is really too much. I'm just having a little fun. I think he's earned some mockery. I'm sure I have as well." Harry writing Spare was a choice. Nobody forced him to do it. Nobody held a gun to his head. He decided to do that.
And now Harry can't even come and defend himself, like most celebrities would do. No, he's under the Meghan claw.
Like, there's a lot of banter that goes on Twitter between two famous people, for example. But in this case, it's very one-sided because, you know, you just have the sugars attacking Seanlennon, which has now resulted in
Unnecessary death threats by a group of people who have nothing to lose.
a while back, I decided that I wanted to go on a deep dive of Yoko Ono.
Today, I am Yoko Ono, and Yoko does not care about your feelings.
What motivated me to do that was that I noticed that Meghan Markle was whining herself about death threats and my babies and all this kind of thing.
Trigger warning, you're about to hear Meghan's croaky voice.
Do we have that pap on the scooter again?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we do? Really? Same guy?
Same guy.
Oh my god, how
Watched him going to this park and... He's gonna be with us? Yes, sir. He was just a...
Yeah, those, the guys in the basement of the building, too, as we were doing that walk, they were recording, too, just so you're aware.
For 44 years, Yoko Ono has been threatened, harassed, doxxed,
Even having to continually fight as recent as 2010 to keep John Lennon's murderer behind bars. And who could forget that weird chauffeur who's blackmailing Yoko Ono and then saying that he wanted to kill her unless she paid $2 million to him? I mean, the point is Sean Lennon has watched his mom go through it.
In terms of Yoko Ono's comment section,
Yoko has to have the most unhinged comment section on Instagram, and she leaves the comments up, totally unbothered. Comments such as, "You are responsible for his death. You ruined John's life. You ruined Julian's life. You ruined the Beatles. Grifter. Gold digger." Bro, this Yoko ruined everything. I totally see Meghan Markle having this kind of a thick skin. I mean, she totally wouldn't take one or two hate comments and go on a whole documentary tirade about how everyone in her life is unsafe because a couple people don't like her. Of course not. Why would you do that?
To really wrap your head around why people would be so hateful. It's not catty, it's cruel. Why you would do that.
my point is that you can see how two people conduct themselves differently. Like I said, I don't see anything wrong with us calling out these people because at the end of the day, you have to really say to yourself, what kind of people are really supporting Meghan and Harry at this point? What kind of fans could they possibly have when they have no talent? They have nothing that they're bringing to the table. Whereas Seanlennon does have true fans. People do love him. People really were intrigued by Yoko Ono. She has embarked on her beautiful music career, which some people like. Let's have a look. But what I found that I like the most about Yoko Ono is that she is very strong. Yoko Ono leaves up her hateful comments. Girl, she's better than me because I don't do that with my hateful comments. I block, I delete, and I investigate them. So if anybody comes out here trying to do any threats or anything to me, and you know who you are, who may have done that as well. I don't get a lot, but the point is I do be investigating them. And I'll find you. Yeah? So anyway, that's an aside. It's not about me. It's about Seanlennon and Yoko Ono. I think Yoko Ono really raised Seanlennon as a strong man who was taught to not worry about that. That is just a part of his life and a part of their lives as artists and creatives, that they're going to get people who hate them and love them, especially since his father was John Lennon. Seanlennon is kind of saying, look at me. Look at all the stuff my mom's been through. Look at all the stuff that we've been through. You know, and he is mocking him because he doesn't see him as a real man. Anyway, so that's my take on that story. I think that was very brave of Seanlennon to express the opinion that most of us have already had after reading The Spare. I really appreciate him doing that as a public figure. I mean, I must say, there's a bad squeak of celebrity that I feel about myself that I was told not to talk about them, and Seanlennon's also been told not to talk about them. But maybe that's just me grasping at straws. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. And we're still getting to 100,000. Thank you for sticking with me. Don't forget to subscribe. Press the bell notification and please like this video if you did like it. But most important, let's talk about this in the comment section because I know that a lot of you know the story of the Lennons and I don't know, maybe you have more to tell me about them and that would be really interesting for me.
Because we are massive Beatles fans in this household.
All right, love you. Bye.
My son is a big Beatles fan.
Andy!